Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is me Muhammad Hassnain and welcome back to another video. So in our today's video, we're going to discuss about motion and forces. But before that, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, then please subscribe my channel, like my videos and also share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to press the bell icon for further notifications. So today let's discuss what is a force and what are the different types of forces acting upon an object which is still or when it is moving. So first of all, what is a force? So the force is the push or pull effect on an object which has both magnitude and direction. Now let's discuss the different forces which act upon an object. So there are two forces, balanced forces and unbalanced forces. So balanced forces on an object are when the forces are same on each side, up, down, right, left. This means that the object is still when the forces are balanced. But if the forces are unbalanced, mean on one side the force is more while on the other side the force is less, on upside it is more and downside it is more, it is less, or vice versa. So this means that the object is moving and it is not still. Now imagine a rock, a small rock which is on a road, and it is not moving, it is still. So let me tell you what are the different forces which are acting upon the rock. Firstly, we have the very basic force which you all might know, which is the weight force. So the weight force, you might be wondering, is the gravity force. Yes, it is the gravity force, but we don't call it as gravity, it is the weight force. So what is the weight force? Gravity force is everywhere around us. Gravity is a force which keeps the earth orbiting around the sun, and gravity is the force which keeps the moon orbiting around the earth. Gravity balances the entire universe, and it is gravity which keeps the rocks still on the ground. So we have weight. Everything has a weight, but weight is calculated by mass. When we stand on a weighing scale, we don't measure our weight as we usually say. Actually, we measure our mass in kilograms and grams. But weight is calculated with mass, which is another formula. As weight is affected by gravity, so we call it the weight force. Now let's get back to the rock. So the weight force is acting upon the rock, which is keeping the rock stick to the ground. At number 2, we have the contact force. Contact force is opposite to the weight force. The weight force is in the direction down and the contact force is in the direction up. But let me tell you what is the contact force. As the name also suggests, contact force is the contacting between two objects. So now we got two of our forces on the force diagram. So a diagram which has all the forces acting upon an object is known as a force diagram. So we have the contact force and we have the weight force. Number 3, we have friction. So friction force is when two objects come in contact with each other and they slide. For example, when the rock slides on the road, the friction force increases towards that side. For example, if the friction force is towards the right side, so if the rock slides towards the right side, the friction force will increase as the rock is in contact with the road when it is sliding. Opposite of friction force, next we have the wind force. So the wind force is the force of the wind which is acting upon an object. So for example, if the friction force is towards the right, then the wind force will be towards the left. It depends on the direction of the wind. So our rock is still. So all of the forces are balanced. Means the gravity force, means the weight force, contact force, friction and wind force are all equal. Now let's make the rock a bit move. So when the rock will be moving, the forces won't be balanced. So the arrows in a force diagram represent the amount of force. If the arrow is longer, means there is more force, and if the arrow is short, means there is less force. Now imagine that on the road there is a large vehicle and the rock gets pushed by the vehicle. As you know that the vehicle is sliding on the road, so means that the vehicle will only affect the forces which are right or left. It won't affect the forces which are up or down. Now it's the time when the force diagram will change, but the weight force and contact force will remain the same as there is no movement up or down, there is only movement right or left. The friction force will decrease because towards the right there is no force and the force is being applied towards the left side, means the vehicle is pushing the rock towards the left side. So left side force, which was the wind force, but now it is the force which is being applied by the vehicle, will increase. So the force arrow, which is representing the force of the vehicle, will also be longer now. And this will be our force diagram when the force towards the vehicle from the vehicle is increased and the friction force is decreased, while the other up and down forces still stay the same. The forces are unbalanced because they are not same all. Now let's talk about forces in air. So in air there are two main forces. Gravity means the weight force which was already there, and the second force is air resistance. Best example to fit in this situation will be a parachute. Unbalanced or unequal forces can slow down the speed of an object. They can change the speed of an object. When a parachute's open, mean a person falls from up to down, it has two forces, as I told you, air resistance and weight force. So when a person falls from the parachute, the forces are unbalanced. The air resistance and gravity forces are unbalanced. This means that the person will move at a very slow speed because the forces are unbalanced, and in this situation the air resistance force will be way more than the gravity force, and the air resistance arrow will be larger and the gravity force will be smaller. When a person now goes down and down through the parachute, the air resistance force starts to get balanced with the weight force. The parachute speed slows down, so now the air resistance force will be equal to the weight force. As the object is moving at a constant speed, means the parachute is not very fast, neither it is very slow, it is going down at a constant speed, so the both of the arrows will be equal. So as I told you that forces can slow down an object, they can change the speed of an object. Similarly, forces can also change the direction of an object. The best example for this is a tennis ball. When it hits the tennis racket, the force is applied and the object, means the tennis ball, changes its direction. This was all about forces and motion. I hope so you find this video informative. Thanks for watching.